Election reform has been a national conversation from state capitals to the halls of Congress and now even the Supreme Court. Just last week, in a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court upheld Arizona's voting laws, which banned the collection of absentee ballots by anyone other than a relative or caregiver, and the other threw out any ballots cast in the wrong precinct. So what might this mean for election reform nationwide? Joining us now to discuss, Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also the author of the book, Who's Counting? Great to see you, Hans. Thanks for coming on today. Talk to me about the Supreme Court decision, again, upholding the new Arizona election law here. How might this impact DOJ's current case against the state of Georgia and their own election laws?
Well, this is very good for Georgia and all of the other states. I mean, in essence, what the Supreme Court did is upheld traditional voting rules that have been in place for many, many years all over the country. And it turned back attempts by opponents of election reform to try to use the Voting Rights Act to make false claims of racial discrimination to stop the kind of rules that states have put in. The Georgia case is really a partisan political case. It really makes no valid claims under the Voting Rights Act, and this Arizona decision by the Supreme Court helps emphasize that fact.
Well, you know, following the ruling from the Supreme Court in regards to the Arizona decision, the New York Times editorial board published a piece titled "The Supreme Court Abandons Voting Rights." Other outlets, including CNN, doubling down on the alleged racial discrimination, as you point out, being an allegation there, of election reform, putting out this article saying on potential, quote, new barriers Native Americans fear they'll face in light of the ruling here. Talk to me about the coverage that we've seen from these certain news organizations in regards to this alleged racial discrimination when it comes to voting and election reform.
Those claims being made are totally false, and they've been proven false for years. I mean, look, the biggest claim, for example, that New York Times, CNN, and others have made is that voter ID laws are racially discriminatory. Look, voter ID laws have been in place for more than a decade, including in Georgia. And not only has turnout not gone down, as opponents have always predicted. In fact, turnout has gone up. Not only that, but the American public, as the polling shows, overwhelmingly support voter ID laws, including Black Americans. So those claims are just completely wrong. And the facts on the ground, the turnout in elections prove that to be true. You probably saw the census report on last year's election reported the highest turnout in this century in last year's election. There's no sign whatsoever of the voter suppression they keep claiming exists.
Yeah, huge voter turnout, of course.
That's right.
And specifically in the state of Georgia, too, anyone can get a state ID for free. So it wouldn't be a financial cost to you if you wanted to get that. Hans, thanks for coming on today and discussing this important issue. We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yep.